Welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We're going to get started with some interesting topics today, just mostly about impressions and stuff of certain things. So we're going to start with the PlayStation State of Play. Did you guys get what you expected from it, or like what? Because there's a handful of stuff that I was like, kind of seen this already.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of it does seem like it was reiterate already previously, like from like last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only things we got from it was I think we finally got a couple of release dates for some games in particular. I can't even like think of it off the top of my head, but
Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade.
For
There you go. Yeah.
Stellar Blade is April 26th. We got some release dates for some games, but some other games we did not. You know, there was a lot of to be announced type games that we're gonna have to wait. We're still gonna have to wait for.
Yeah.
Like I go down the list real quick. So they showed Stellar Blade first. That's April 26th. They showed Sonic X Shadow Generations, which is basically them just taking the older games and mashing them all together. So we got was it Sonic Adventure 2 and then the Shadow game in there, and that's not coming until autumn 2024.
Ooh.
And then we got another game that's called Zenless Zone Zero. The animation on that game is pretty dope. It's kind of like an anime style game. It looks like it's going to be pretty sick, but I'm not sure what the gameplay is going to be like. I don't know if it's going to be like a role playing or it's going to be like open world or what, They didn't really sure.
It plays like an action shooter, well, like a heavy combat, like fast paced combat.
Kind of like a hack and slash type thing.
Yeah, it's like you go against like big bosses and like enemies, like beat them up.
So if it's like a beat 'em up / like hack and slash type thing, I'll definitely probably try it out. But there's no release date on that. It's just set in development, so that's TBA. Coming out Tuesday is Foam Stars, which is like a kind of like a Splatoon type thing with people, not creature things. And another Dave the Diver game.
Ooh.
It's coming.
The Godzilla, right?
Yeah, and then it's got Godzilla's like with Godzilla and shit, and that comes out May 24th. I was like, what the fuck? So Dave the Diver's meeting Godzilla. Okay.
It's so random. I've never seen because I've never even played any of the Dave Divers games. Like
neither have I, but I thought like a fucking Kraken or something was gonna come out. No, Godzilla, motherfucker. He came out.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my god. I thought it was just another game, but it looks like they're putting just Dave the Diver to PlayStation, and then they're just adding that DLC to it or whatever, because it kind of looks the same.
I don't know, but them Hell Divers look pretty dope too. Seen that?
Yeah, that Hell Divers 2, that was like in the beginning, but we already knew that game was coming out.
Yeah.
That game I'm definitely gonna play. I tried to get Alex and Angel, see if they could look at it, see if they're interested. Because
Hell Divers 2?
Yeah.
I'm on there. I'm on there for sure.
Because there's definitely that's a game that I wouldn't play by myself. I want to play with.
Nah, it's more of a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Question about the game: is it like? Give me like a brief description.
It just
like as far as like environment.
It's
like
third
Destiny.
person.
Like
it's like third person PVE, and it's just you and your group. You remember Anthem?
I didn't play it.
But did you see it?
Barely.
Okay. Jesus.
So okay,
you gotta get out. You gotta get out of the little circle that you're in, man.
So let me clarify. The one thing that I'm asking about, because you guys mentioned the whole like Godzilla. Are we in open water? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
it literally shows Dave on a boat, and then Godzilla comes out of the water.
For those of you who do not know, I have thalassophobia. So like,
yeah, well, I have
open bodies of water.
Exactly, me too.
Me out.
Yeah, I
second what you're saying, where you're like, you need other people to be there, because if I'm playing that shit by myself, I'm getting nothing done.
Well, Hell Divers is different from Dave the Diver.
Yeah, completely different. Two different formats.
Two different games. So Dave the Diver is a 2D, 2D side scroll. You're diving in the water, exploring shit, and then
is it almost like Subnautica. In that aspect,
in an aspect of that, yeah. Okay. But it's like pixel art, like it's pixels,
right?
And then Helldivers is a third person shooter game.
It looks sick.
That you get loot and stuff. That's why I told you to YouTube it whenever you get the chance so you can see it.
Yeah, I'll YouTube it when we're done.
Yeah, I already have a pre-order for PC, so I'm good.
Yeah, so Helldiver. Yes,
it's on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's $30, not bad.
Yeah, so that's a third person like team shooter. Like you get a group of people and you go, collect shit and kill monsters and stuff like that. So
it sounds snazzy.
yeah, you get to like upgrade and do all that stuff, but we're not getting into the game. So the next game was V Rising, which kind of looks like it's overtop and it looks like Diablo. So I don't know too much about V Rising because I've heard of that before, like the older ones, but this is a newer version and it's kind of like Diablo. It's coming out 2024 again, TBA. Like I said, most of these are TBA. The next one was the Silent Hill, the short message, which we're going to get into. That's another topic for today. So we're gonna just keep going. Silent Hill 2, that's the one we were waiting for.
Yeah, but it's still, why don't we still have a release date for it? Come on.
I know that's still TBA, unfortunately, for those who are still waiting with us. It does look a bit stiff.
It does. That's what I'm saying. It's not coming out this year. It's not happening.
Yeah, it looks like they still got some work to do for sure. Hopefully they fix that. So the next game it's called Judas. So it's from the creators of BioShock, and that game looks fucking sick.
It looks exactly like BioShock.
Exactly, but I love those type of games.
Yeah, like it looks dope.
All of them. BioShock 1, 2, and fucking Infinite, dude. I loved all of them.
Like if you're a fan of those games, like this game is definitely going to be like,
oh my god, it looks so good.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about BioShock, and I feel like only like Nick and Daniel might be able to like understand my point of view from this because they were typically around for this point in time. But I find it hysterical that I've never actually ever played BioShock, but I've always watched Nick and Alex play it. When they did play it, I never played it. I just watched them play it. It was the funniest thing.
I have the whole collection and the whole remastered collection.
And I also might get hate for this one. Kingdom Hearts is another one. I never played it. I watched all of you guys play it.
Oh, Jay, you hurt my soul.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I never. It was one of those where like I never played it. I never owned it. But like whenever I was over there, I was happy to see you guys play it.
Yeah, at least you watched it. At least you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like I've watched it. I just never played it.
At least you know what's kind of going on in it. So
yeah, kind of.
All right. So the next one.
But for Judas, I think like you'll definitely like Judas if you like that game.
Oh my god, Judas! I just seen creators of BioShock. I said this is gonna be sick.
It is. Fucking.
So
phenomenal.
The next thing was the Metro Awakening, which is those Metro Exodus games, and that's gonna be on VR too. Again, TBA. Another game was called Legendary Tales, which is also another VR2 game. That has a release date for February 8th. That's like a medieval.
It looked pretty good. It looked pretty decent.
I mean, the graphics are kind of shitty, but it's your typical VR like medieval type game. It's kind of like what's that one game that's I forgot. And it's like Blades and Sorcerers.
And you're only going to be playing the game for like maybe an hour before you get a headache. So
not even Sorcery. I love that. I've seen clips of that game. It looks really fun.
Yeah, I sold my VR too because it makes me so sick every time I'm playing it, and I feel like the older I get and try to play VR, it's just making it worse. Yeah, it's just making it worse. Yeah, I'm definitely turning into not a VR person, so that's not gonna be good.
Legendary Tales actually comes out February 8th.
Yeah, that's what I said. It comes out February 8th. That one we actually got a release date for. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Oh, that one looks sick, bro.
We've already seen so many trailers and shit, and we've seen so much gameplay. We already know what we're expecting, and it looks sick. And that actually had the release date, and that was March 22nd, and that's this year. And then the next game, Nick, you talked about this game before, Rise of the Ronin. Yeah, it's like a Sekiro-like game, and that one comes out March 22nd as well, and that's 2024. Now this game, I've seen the gameplay for this freaking game, and why does it look like a PS4 game?
What, Ronin?
Yes.
No, I don't know. Does it? I don't know.
bro. In the state of play when they showed gameplay of it, dude, like actual gameplay of him like sneaking around and jumping off shit, it looks like a PS4 game.
Like does it
graphics?
does it look like what's that other Japanese game that was really good? That came out for PlayStation.
Like a dragon?
No, not like a dragon. It was like a really kind of like held to prestigious like game. I forgot what it's called.
That was like a samurai game like that?
Yeah.
Sekiro?
No. Yeah, Don played it.
It's not Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Like
that. No, that game looks so much better. So much by far. There's no resemblance, dude.
Interesting.
Like I think it's pretty good though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I like the culture and everything.
Yeah, I'm not saying that PS4 games look like shit. I'm just saying that it just looks
It's
like
not
an
up
old.
to today's
Yeah,
standards.
it looks like an older generation type game. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was about to say, is it known that it's going to be on PS4 and PS5, or is it just PS5?
I think it's just. I think it's PS4 and PS5.
I think it's PS4 as well. Yes.
So that probably could be it. They probably showed the PS4 version.
Exactly. But we're trying to. We talked about this before. We're trying to get away from that. Make the games for the newer generation so we can get everything out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry for people who still have PS4s, Dante. I'm sorry, but we have
say no names.
For like 5 years.
Yeah, but we got to like make these games look better because I should have kept the PS4 if I was going to keep playing PS4 games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I see your point because it kind of defeats the purpose of having a new gen system if you're not going to make games for it.
Exactly. I just spent another $500-$600 on a PS5 for the older generation games, and that's not what I wanted.
Oh yeah, I highly agree. I was just saying that that's typically what PlayStation does. They wait for like 4 or 5 years for the runtime of the old console to go by.
Yep.
Yeah. They start phasing it out a little bit.
And Death Stranding, right? I seen that too.
Wait Until Dawn remake. There's a PS5 PC.
I thought it was going to be another Until Dawn 2, not like the same game that we got like 12 years ago.
Nope. They didn't say 2. It didn't say remastered. It just said Until Dawn, which means a fucking remake.
The exact same thing.
Yeah. Now we can start talking about Death Stranding 2, Dante's all-time favorite game.
Yo, it looks sick though, man. It does look sick.
Listen, Dante, I will not, yuck your yum. The game looks phenomenal, but I cannot play an Amazon Prime game.
I'm telling you, for people that's out there that actually finished Death Stranding, they know what I mean by it. It's like it has a lot of gun aspects to it with the mechanics and like stealth. And
I see the gameplay. I see that you can shoot and stuff like that, but it's just the delivery part that kind of gets me. It's kind of a turnoff for me.
Right.
I get it. It's like the fan base is definitely split. It's like a lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people adored it for the story.
If the story was there, but you didn't have to deliver all the time. You didn't have to go through giant plains of things, and you were just going through like killing the monsters. Sure, yes, I would play it 100%. It's just the delivery service thing. You have to watch your weight. You have to watch your step. You have to collect a bunch of shit. I don't have time for it.
Your boots get wore out,
Yeah, you gotta get new clothes. You gotta upgrade your shit. Like, I'm good. It's too much. I just want to fucking get through the thing without having to worry about all that.
But as far as the story is definitely getting like real more integral because I feel like now we're getting more like I didn't even know he had a brother. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
The guy with the guitar, right?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? And I mean, the guitar looks sick though. The fucking the way
electric.
Like the weapon and shit. It looks pretty dope. Like, and now he has a backpack.
Yeah, he's actually like a character from the first one. He's like one of the enemies you come across, like the boss.
Oh, he's in the first one.
Yeah.
Did we know it like at the time? Did we know that like who it was? Like.
Like during the trailer?
No, like in the first one. Like, did we know that was like his brother and shit like that, or?
No, the new thing they revealed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I I don't know. The game looks beautiful. The first one looks beautiful. The second one looks just as beautiful. The story is weird, but I kind of like the weird. Listen, I kind of like the weirdness of the game because it's like random. Like now you got a fucking little puppet with a different animation that's talking to you.
I mean, it looks cool with the clay. Like it looks like
cool
claymation.
though because it's Kojima's weird ass fucking brain. Like it's just the shit he adds in there just doesn't make sense, but then it does at the same time if you just listen to the story. So
yeah, he goes very depth and detail in the stories.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm not opposed to it. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm not like gonna tell people like the game's fucking shit because it's not. I'm pretty sure it's a good game. It's just not my kind of game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll say this, like the one gripe I did have with the first one is like a little bit too repetitive when it comes to the missions with delivery, like you said. So I hope for like this second one they kind of change it up a bit and you do like more variation of missions rather than the repetitive.
I feel
like
that
it was that one scene that she walked him into that room with all the guns. So hopefully it's more gunplay than more delivery.
That's what I was gonna say. Like because we played the first one, I feel like we shouldn't be able to. It shouldn't be as dry as it was in the first one because the first one it takes a while for the game to kick off. You know what I mean? So at least within the second one, like Don said, cut back on the deliveries. Like I feel like that's still going to be a thing because that's part of like pretty much the whole concept of the game. But I'm saying like at least cut that down, just slim it down some, and then focus up on more of the story. You know what I mean? Like I think that would be probably a little more better for people to approach this one than because in the first one, like I said, like the deterrent for the first one, the second I had to put my arms on my backpack, I was like, I'm done, I'm out, I'm done. I just don't think like it's fun anymore because of the physics, right? Like I mean, he's more into like the physics of the game. Like if you're running down the hill, you know, or if you're carrying too much weight, that's like you start tipping over, you fall on the ground, you know, you damage the package.
Bust your ass.
Yeah, you bust your ass, you lose a little bit of health, you damage the package. So it's like all that stuff is still going to be in it. I just don't feel like because you already did it all already in the first game, like with introducing us to the character, showing us the world and all that stuff, people already have an idea of it. So I just feel like in this one, just go straight into it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it'll kind of suck for me because then that means I'll have to play actually go through the first one.
That's what I'm doing right now.
And torment myself and go through it. And just to get through the story and know what the fuck is going on. Because then if I play the second one, I'm gonna be so confused.
Correct. And this is one of those games that I just feel like you can't just get away with just skipping over the first one because there's so much that the first one has to.
The story's in depth. It's in depth.
Right.
So the story goes real deep.
I mean, Dante, did you beat the game, right?
Yeah, he beat it twice, right? I think was it twice or?
Jesus Christ, you played it again?
Oh no, once.
If he really likes the game, man, he'll beat this shit like twice, like 3 times or something, like Sekiro and shit.
Oh, yeah. If Death Stranding wasn't so long, I would have probably tried to go in again. But it's just like that one hump of getting over in the beginning. We're getting all your tools and everything.
It's long as hell, bro. To get in the bike, get in the weapons.
Yeah. So at the end of the PlayStation thing, Kojima said that he's working really closely with Sony and stuff, so they're gonna be making movies and shit with games at the same time. So,
because I feel I think secretly he wanted to be a director this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been saying. Like Kojima should have just stuck to making like horror movies or some weird ass fucking movies than making games because his games are like hits or miss. Like the story of his games are like phenomenal, but then when you actually play, you're like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's like, his brain is so like great that he can intriguing. So he should just, split that into some movies and shit. And I bet you like he'll be just as fucked up as Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah. Series and everything. Yeah. I could see that happening too.
So
I mean, he already works with like Jordan Peele and Guillermo del Toro as it is. So
yeah, exactly. So that was pretty much it for the state of play. If anybody wanted to go see actual gameplay and stuff, you can just YouTube the state of play and see the actual whole thing from start to finish,
Right.
and then get more in depth of each game so you can know what we're talking about. So what is this whole thing on Sony actively working on a new portable? And what do you think it's gonna be? It's gonna be another. It's gonna be an upgraded Portal. Is it gonna be a PSP, an actual PSP2? Is it gonna be like a mini PS5? Like, what do you think they're gonna try to go with the rest of the handhelds today, like the Steam Deck
So
and stuff like that?
I think if PlayStation or Sony goes with another handheld, like I think they have a lot to kind of like compete with, given the Steam Deck and all the popularity that has, along with the Nintendo Switch. I think that they can pull it off, but I think it'll definitely be a challenge for them if they do it.
Yeah, they started at the wrong time.
That and like, don't get me wrong, like the idea of like having a handheld is always going to be a good idea for gamers, because I think as gamers, everybody likes the idea of being able to like, oh, let me pause it here, get off, and then I can just switch over to a handheld while I leave the house and go somewhere else. I think everybody likes that idea.
I think it would be like a requirement for them right now, actually, because I feel like they need something like this, because the portal does the remote portal does not count, right? It doesn't do anything that an actual portable device would do, right? So
yeah, it just streams like your phone.
It streams like your phone, which is, we don't need something like that. I think we need something like, again, like close to it, but at least a little more mobility. You know what I mean?
Like something like that plays more natively.
Yes. And I mean, it's probably still not going to have the highest resolution, the highest frame rate, but it has to do something that still has that nostalgia where, PSP used to have. Because, I mean, I think everybody at that time really enjoyed the portable PlayStation, And
I mean, yeah, for sure.
It was perfect timing. Right, it was perfect timing for them to have came out with something like that back then, and I feel like they could do it again, but it won't be this year for sure. I feel like it would be.
No, it definitely is not coming out this year. They're so early in development that it's
right.
years from now, dude.
It's a thought, and I like that the thought is out there on the table, because again, like, can this open up another format for them? Meaning, they're going to have their own kind of set games that are going to be on the PSP. I think it'll be great to have. I mean,
I feel like they're starting at the wrong time, honestly.
I feel like on that point, though, as far as like the whole handheld, like it's mainly like a question I had to ask you guys about that. Like, as far as like the PS Vita, do you guys think that it was like ahead of its time, or do you think it was like they did it like at the right moment?
I think
the Vita.
Yeah, the Vita, because in my opinion, I feel like it was a good idea, but I feel like they flopped in certain areas. Like the SSD, like the memory card that it had was like a 4 gig memory card. Which sucked.
it was a good concept, and the games, they looked fine for that time that it was out. The problem is that they didn't keep up with it.
Right.
They didn't make enough games. They didn't make enough games. They didn't update it as often. They didn't keep dates. They didn't, it's just something that they
could have did so much with that.
Yeah, I just feel like they didn't really want to do another handheld, but they did just to, keep us busy,
right,
until they made the newer systems.
Now the problem is, like Danny said, I think it's not the best timing, because they have so many competitors. They have the Steam Deck, they have the ROG, they have, there's so many.
That's why I said that they're coming out at a wrong time, because we have all these PC handhelds.
Yeah.
Now, in my brain, I don't know why won't they just all like kind of get together and make like one separate company together, and then make one system that does it all.
Because that would mean that they're all losing sales.
No, because their games would have their own, like, whatever game is on that system in that handheld.
Yeah,
they would still get that money. Like, say, like, you buy a PlayStation game on that handheld, that will go to Sony.
Right.
If you buy a PC game on that system, it'll go to Steam. Stuff like that. They'll have their own dedicated servers to their games, their market.
Like when you mean
I see
when you mean
I
like,
see what you mean.
like I mean when you mean get together, you mean like them and Microsoft and like
just to
Nintendo?
make just to make like a handheld that we don't have to illegally, download different softwares and shit. You know what I mean?
I would
So
like
it's like legally we have each, what do you call those things? The windows, the stores. What do you call them? Like Epic and
Oh yeah,
Steam.
yeah,
Oh, the
yeah.
launchers.
Yeah, launchers. Like they'll have their own dedicated launchers for their dedicated games in that system, but
that would be
it's
sick.
natively being played on there. Like you don't have to stream anything.
That would be sick. But
Okay.
I feel like to get all of these fucking companies in the same room to work.
Yeah, it'll never happen. It's just a
but that's
theory.
It's a pipe dream, basically.
But that's the problem. Is like I think like why not do something like that? That's not a bad idea. Like I think like if they can actually work together and do something like that, they'll change they'll change the culture of portable gaming.
Yeah,
for sure.
You just said something that doesn't exist.
What's that?
Working together.
Working together. Yeah.
They will never work together.
We all know these companies greedy as hell.
No, it's mostly Sony. Sony is dude. They're flying solo, dude. They're like, I want to do our own fucking thing. I think Microsoft would be open to the idea. I think like they're the most probably opening people like on the table right now. It's Nintendo and Sony. They don't want to do anything.
But look how far. Look how far.
Like, we're not just making games. Let's make movies too.
But look how far Sony and Nintendo got by doing that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Versus where Microsoft is right now.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Xbox. I feel bad for them.
Apparently, sometimes it pays to be greedy.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Go ahead, Dom. What was you saying?
I was just about to say, I think Xbox got something against Sony too, still to this day, because they literally had them in court last year. So I don't think they're gonna try to sit down with them either.
But they were always mad at them
like
for
Marvel
something.
And DC. They're always at each other's throat.
Yeah, it just feels like they're always mad at Sony for some legal reasons. I mean, I'm not saying it's not like legit reasons why they're not mad at them, but they're always bumping heads like older brother, little brother. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they've been on the market
yeah, they're the top. They're still the top dogs. Well, PC's up there now, but it's like I'm saying at the time they were still the portable console. They're the top dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Before we get off of this, I did want to mention that where this rumor came from. It came from this article that said Sony paid AMD for a custom APU for the new portal that they're working on, and they said it's estimated to come out around where the PS6 is going to come out,
2026-ish, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, they still have a few years. Again, this is all just rumors. This can, they could just be for all we know, and then it will probably never happen.
Yeah.
So we could just go off of this, and if more rumors come out, then we'll just take it from there, because we won't. It's so early on, we will never really know at this point.
I would like for them to do it. I think it'll be a smart business.
But I think with the Steam Deck and then the MSI and the Lenovo and all that stuff, like you got everything right there. like what else do you really need? I already have money. My PS5. Like, what else do I really need?
They're like,
it's money. That's what it is.
They're like, we paid.
Really, doing this for.
They're like, listen, guys, we paved the way for you guys. We want to come back and do something different. And it's like, but how? Because like these other portables have done so much technology has changed within the time frame from having PSP. You know what I mean? So it's like it's gonna be hard for them, but I feel like they're gonna have to just sit on it. Like if it's true, they're gonna sit on this for a while and see like what can they do differently, and obviously how can they market this thing, right? Because it's gonna be like $200 to $300. Like we already know that's coming.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
That's the minimum. Yeah, and because we're not seeing PS6 until like what fucking the beginning, like
26,
the second coming of Jesus. Yeah.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
not the second coming of Jesus. Oh my God.
That's when we'll
I
see
think my
that one.
theory is the
Go ahead.
reasoning why they even come out with the PlayStation Portal is like the test the groundworks of seeing if the audience is still interested in like portals. I think that's what that placeholder was there. Them coming out with the portal idea. So maybe that's where the rumors are coming from. Just that idea of like, oh, I can see that there still are interested, seeing that it's sold out when the portal dropped.
Mhm.
So maybe, who knows? Maybe they just took that into account and probably are trying to work on something. But let's see.
We will see, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna be waiting quite a while for
Yeah.
that.
Oh, absolutely.
So just wanted to bring it to the audience's attention if you guys are like under the rock and not knowing what's going on. So let's move on to the next thing. It's we're gonna actually talk about the Silent Hill short message now. So this game is quite interesting.
It is very interesting. I've never seen a game that that uses the phone a lot. Like I thought,
So it's using the phone a lot because it's like kind of the time. It's like modern,
get it.
I guess.
And I'm like, and I'm like, because the thing is, like when we first get into the game, like people already have this conception that when you're playing a Silent Hill game, you're already ready for the jump scares, the psychological horror that the walls start bending. You're in a different world. The guy with the giant sword, pyramid head. So it's like we're kind of expecting all of that, and then when you see the phone,
no, this is different.
yeah, this is way different, guys. Like we're starting to see like just phone, like completely different character too. Like I've never seen that.
First of all, I want to start by saying it's in first person.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was what caught me off guard when I first started.
Yeah, we never got that in Silent Hill games.
Yeah, I never expected it to be first person, which was fine because I always say like any horror game is kind of always better in first person because you get like that full feel aspect of fear because you can't see all around you. You literally would have to turn all the way around to just see it because it's your peripherals and shit. So I was okay with using the phone as a light and stuff like that. Like I got that concept. It was like the whole. So this game is kind of based off of like suicide prevention type thing,
Right?
And it's trying to like send the message. You're better off listening to friends and listening to people who's trying to help you than to doing that wrong thing.
Right.
You don't want to make a bad decision because you don't want to listen to your friends or anything like that. And I understand it's like mental instability and stuff like that. But if people are trying to help you, I suggest, get help. Like have like listen to what people are trying to tell you. But the fear in this game, like when you're running,
it's the
through
hallways.
the hallways.
Yeah,
It's like really tight hallways. You're in an abandoned building trying to find your friend. And to find out that she's been dead the whole time, and
that was the crazy part.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I don't want to give it too much away because you have to play it. I'm like iffy about this game because it's kind of annoying every time. The thing that chases you, it's so fucking fast that the second you make a wrong turn, you're fucked.
Really?
And then she and then she kills you, and then you have to start all over. It's like a playback. Like you open your eyes and you're like reliving what you just did, and then you start all over. You get up and you're like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then
it's clearly a PT. Like they were that off.
It's Kojima. It's Silent Hill. Like
yeah.
Which is why I feel like I didn't even know she killed you because like I got away from her. I fucking jumped.
There's you meet up. It's like
I got the hell out of there.
Yeah, I got out of there and then I jumped off the roof. I mean, because I think like that's like Danny was saying, it's the message in it. Like,
so you when you get up, you play, you walk around, you look for your friend, you find like different clues and stuff, and then once you find a certain amount of clues, your screen starts to like glitch out. And your phone starts glitching out, and that's when you know that the girl's gonna start chasing you. So you open the door, and everything just starts turning into like the actual Silent Hill like place. Like the fucking thing looks rusty, the walls look rusty,
right?
The
boiler
gates
room
come
and
out.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
boiler room look, and the gates come out, and then like that reddish
right.
orange light.
Mm-hmm.
So all that shit starts happening, and then you start getting chased. You get away from her, and then you start looking for more clues. And then after you find a certain amount of clues again, your thing starts glitching out, and you just already, that's when you already know, like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're gonna find clues, get chased, find clues, get chased, find clues, get chased. And that's what I was kind of annoyed about, because I'm like,
You
oh,
don't
look,
get to do anything else.
like as soon as I found that my last like clue in that first section of the thing, I was like, watch, I'm gonna get chased. And what do you know? I got fucking chased. So I was already, you lose that fear because you already anticipate
Predictable.
what's gonna happen. Yeah, you already know what's gonna happen because it's so predictable. So there's this one part that pissed me off the most, was when you said you beat the whole thing, Nick, right?
Yeah, I got to the end.
Yeah, so there's this one part where you have to like get chased by her for like a long period of time, but at the same time you're like looking for little things like memorabilia to unlock a door.
Right.
So I think there's like maybe 5 different little
they're all
talisman things that you have to find that are spread out. And each item unlocks the door, like it shows on your phone that you broke a chain off the door. And I would get to like probably like 3, and this motherfucking bitch turns out of nowhere and shows up right in my face and just stabs me. I don't know if it was a glitch, I don't know what it was, but I couldn't get away from it, and I kept dying, and I was getting pissed off. I said probably because she stinks. I don't know. She didn't like that. She didn't like that.
Apologize.
So
I think if you apologize, you'll be able to pass it.
Eventually I got it. I finished it. I was like, fuck you, you stupid whore. And then I did it again, found some clues, had some memories, like you're having flashbacks and shit. And then you start like collecting the story, see what's going on, but like in the middle of the game you already kind of know what's the story's about and what's happening, because it's so predictable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people already have an understanding of what's going on. Like they didn't even try to be decryptive of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it like you already had, like when I first got into it, I already knew for a fact. I'm like, okay, she's probably had, like when she looked down at the table and noticed that she had medications that were prescribed to her, she just really hasn't been taking them. It's like you can kind of tell like she's already having like some sort of psychological episode. Clearly, I already know like she's talking to a friend and she's having all these kind of memories of her friend. And it's like, you can I already told Don, I was like, she's probably dead. She's probably imagining that she has
exactly.
Right. Like I already picked that all up. So this is what I'm like kind of confused about when we put this game out, because I get the message. I get the importance of, sending a message to people that's struggling with, mental illness. It's a real thing. And obviously like we, and I guess we never put that inside of a video game before to kind of get the message across.
Yeah, like it's different.
Right. It's different. And we never got that before. But it's like one of those questions where it's like, did we really need this? Because we've been waiting for you guys, Konami, for a long fucking time to jumpstart this thing back up. It's not just getting Resident Evil 2. You're saying that you have the Resident Evil 2. Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2, right? And then you got the Silent Hill F thing, that other game that we're supposed to be working on. You're promising us a lot here, and it's like we just put this out to the public. It kind of just seems like it was a diss towards, again, like I'm not trying to bring up the old fucking beef between them and Hiro Kojima, but it's like this what it felt like. Because it's like, dude, there's so many resemblance, like the bathroom, the blood on the floor, the hallways, even like you look at the creature, like the female or whatever it is, it's the same height as the female in PT, but it's still not.
Yeah, she put right there too.
And she's not even still comparable to how terrifying that bitch was in PT, because that bitch was like way more terrifying than
PT was more scary
right.
than this.
And then the thing is, like, it used a lot of more creativity, because there's parts that you actually had to listen in to, like the hidden messages within the game. You had to actually talk to it at some point in the controller or your microphone to get some messages, like to actually get the next hidden clue. So in this one, it just seems like they didn't really use a lot of creativity, dude. This was more like, haha, Kojima, we're still got the rights to this and we're still doing whatever we want. And it's like, he's like, it's funny because you say that, but I still got like 3 other fucking projects and a fucking movie. You think I got time for you fuckers? Like, I just don't, that's how I look at it. Like,
that's a flex and a half.
yeah,
right
that's
there.
what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, I think like in a way, this was kind of like a sneak diss towards him. And it's like, did we really need this as the audience?
This is Kojima's game, though, isn't it? Is Kojima
is
digital?
It is his game, but that's why it's because they still have the rights to it, that they're pretty much flaunting it and saying, "Hey,
wait." So Kojima has no part of this.
No, he doesn't. They still have the rights to. Yes, they still have the rights to it.
So, I didn't know that. I thought Kojima was making this.
He tried to fight in court to get the rights back to try to do. That's why we created Death Stranding, because Death Stranding was supposed
is basically his baby.
Yes, but it was PT was the blueprint for Death Stranding. A lot of people don't know that.
I thought PT was the blueprint for Silent Hill.
It was, but he was.
But he's using that.
He had to turn the whole thing around and put it into Death Stranding, right? Because Norman Reedus and everything was already ready to do the Silent Hill. It was supposed to be Silent Hill. But again, they had that fallout, whatever the case is, and he had to jump off the project, and he tried to fight for the rights. He didn't win that case. So they got that case back. And it's like, this is what they're kind of doing. They're like, all right, well, we're throwing this out there now to show you guys, like, we still have the rights. We want to do this in this format. And it's like, but I don't get it, because it's like, this was fucking 12, 13, 14 years ago, guys. Like, why are we still mentioning shit like this? Like, I'd rather you guys have just be focusing in on get like we talked about Silent Hill 2. Can we at least, like, it still looks pretty bad, guys, stiff and everything. Like, the graphics is great. You're showing me something that I played the original. I mean, I feel like anybody that's waiting for this one to come out, you can go back and play the original right now and, fucking, I don't know, do an emulation or something on that, play the original and see how it is. But it's not showing anything really different besides like how it looks like in modern technology and shit. But it's like we're still focusing on the dumb shit versus like what you should be working on. That's what I'm a little annoyed with this one coming out. It's cool that you guys put it out there for us to enjoy, but it's like we almost didn't need this. You could have sent this shit directly to Hideo Kojima's productions and just say, hey guys, I wanted to just, rub this shit in your face. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like, because it's the same, dude. It's the same kind of thing. The only thing that's different is, well, not really, because we still had first person in PT too. So it's like we never got it in Silent Hill, and that's what the difference is. But it's still all sort of the similar things with the hidden clues, with the tall bitch. Like, everything is still in the same thing. Like, the only thing that was different was, again, like, mental illness, and that was like that was the only way to make it differ from PT. That was the only way that we could make it differently, because everybody else was going to already assume, and people who played PT back in those times, they're already going to know straight off the bat, like, what the fuck is this PT? It's like, people are going to already know that, man. Like, when you played it, I played it. I don't know if you guys played it, but when it came out, I played it. And because that shit changed the culture of things back then. But it is not going to hit the same as it did back then. So this is like kind of like, again, like, I don't know what this was about. If this was supposed to show us that you guys are working on something else besides the 2 other fucking Silent Hill games that you already promised us, 2 and F, it's like, cool, but it's, you guys got to start changing the shit up. Like, nobody cares about that, it's supposed to be like PT. We got, like, that's old shit. if it's to get back at Kojima, it's like, yo, bro, like you're failing already as it is. That man is like 10 more levels above you. He don't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah, I feel like this is just a placeholder for them to give him more time for Silent Hill 2, the release, and Snake Eater, the remake.
And that's another thing.
Yeah.
Tell them about that, Don. Like, they're remaking, Snake Eater 3. He made that game and is like, what'd you say he did? He put it on his Twitter.
Oh yeah, Hiro Kojima. He's pretty much referencing like all the stuff that he had part of and developing the original game that's on the PS2. And it's like you're pretty much taking all his properties and just remaking them or making different.
Like,
it's like,
and what do you?
Pathetic. It's like, I'd rather see like the project.
F.
Silent Hill F.
F. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's different. You're delivering something different. You're kind of showing us, all right, you're not remaking the same shit like we got. This is completely different IP. Right. Well, it's not different IP because it's still Silent Hill, but it's a different whole like game from everything else.
Yeah.
So I'd rather you be working on that than just kind of, showing us the same kind of two games that this man already been working on back when he used to work for you guys. So this is what I'm saying. Like, what are you guys doing?
Plus, they're making another live-action Silent Hill movie on top of that. So it seems like they're just trying to juggle a bunch of shit at once, and it's like,
and it's not, and you're not doing good. You're dropping the fucking balls here, man. Like,
well, that's why Kojima's doing fine right now.
But that's
doing his own thing.
And it's funny because he's juggling, but he's juggling them well, though. There's the difference. Like,
yeah. And
I think that they should take the first person, aspect of the game and push it into further like Silent Hill games because that brings a little bit more fear. But they're remaking part 2 and it's just looking like the third person version of it. So
it's so stiff. Like
I know it's really stiff. I hope they fix that. And I don't, moving forward, I hope they just start doing like the first person shit because that brings more fear. At least for me, it brings more fear because I can't see my surroundings.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, but I realized that I muted myself because I was eating, so you guys didn't hear what I said. But I was saying that like I actually agreed that like I think horror games in first person is a lot more scarier just for the simple fact that it's in your face.
Yeah.
Instead of for like you can like see it from around the corner because you're in third person. Like it's not like that. You're in first person, so as soon as you turn around, it can be right there in your face. And most people are like, when you're playing horror games, typically you're in a quieter setting. So, when you're playing, games in a quieter setting, you're listening for shit. So like when something gives you a jump scare, it really catches you.
Yeah. Like that bitch opening that door for the first time. I was like, what the fuck is this?
And again, they did capture a lot of the scare mechanics. Well, like, just like how PT did it. I'm not giving them that. Like, yeah, it is pretty scary. Like when you're going down the hallway, you're kind of like, I'm already kind of expecting like something to jump out at me. But again, like the phone, it was kind of like, I get it, but like the bitch talked too much. Like that's the thing. Like,
well, she kind of had to, so you could get the story.
No, the friend, not the main girl that you were getting the memories for.
Oh, the friend kept calling.
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, like.
Well, that was the point because the friend was trying to reach her, like the main character.
Oh, to tell her like, yo, what is she? What's wrong with you?
Basically, like, what's going on? Like, you're okay? Like this and that, because she's starting to notice that she's not being herself, which she technically wasn't because she was in a fucking abandoned building the whole time.
She woke up in the fucking middle of out of nowhere. Right.
Yeah, she's probably sleepwalking, or she was probably like in her mental state where she didn't realize what she's doing.
It has a cool concept, guys. I'm not saying like it's completely bad, but it's like you need to kind of do your own fucking style, though, is basically what I'm trying to get at. Like,
I feel like in itself, that little detail actually works pretty well for the game, as far as like
it does.
The idea of like, when you're having those moments of with your mental health, typically your friends and your people that you're around often are going to be the first ones to notice it.
It does. It does work.
So I think it's a nice little detail that they added there.
No, it does work, Angel. It does. But it's like when the guy who originally came up with that idea and then they take the rights from that guy. And
They shot him in the
don't
foot.
get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
I see exactly where you guys are coming from, and in fact, I actually agree with it. It was just like that little detail I thought was pretty nice.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say something about it, but as far as everything else, 100%, I agree with you guys.
Yeah.
That it's kind of fucked up that all of that was his idea. They
Yeah.
basically kicked him from the program. Or like, yeah, we're gonna still run with your idea, and then flop it.
It's like making a fucking an awesome shoe, and they were just like, hey, well, we're gonna take it. We're just gonna like make the shoelaces differently on there, but it's still gonna be the same shoe.
No, it's like a high school project where you had that one person that didn't really do anything but signed his name on it like he did something.
yeah, like
it's the same idea.
I was that guy once or twice. I was.
I say the major,
but you saw.
I say the major problem.
But Danny, the difference is you probably saw within yourself. You're like, you know what? I feel like a fuck up.
I'm gonna do better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like Konami's like, no, I'd rather keep having you to sign that. Like you could keep signing your name on this. You know what I mean? Like
you keep signing your name, we'll keep taking your credit.
Fucking douchebags, man.
What, Don?
I was just about to say, I'd say the major problem for me with Silent Hill, the short message of this, it's like the main character. She was just so dumb to me. Like she didn't even realize friend died.
I knew the girl was dead the second that she kept saying, "Are you here? Where are you?" Right. And then like she's texting you, "Oh, I'm here." But it's an old abandoned place. First of all, bitch, why is anybody going to be in this old abandoned place?
Right.
Like, I'm in the studio. What studio? This building is destroyed.
And I get it. Like the title says short message, so the message is like obviously we got the message, but it's like and because it's so short that it didn't even do like it didn't do its best to hide the like to get the concept. Because again, like it's because it's such a short thing that they wanted you to get it quickly. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it.
Just shoved it all in your face.
They shoved it all in your face because, like, I thought like they were going to at least like kind of like hint, like they can hint at things, but like if I picked it up like already that clearly she's just psychologically like having issues and her friend's dead. Like if I picked that up the second I knew like like you just like you noticed something like you noticed that you know from the message you hear and all that stuff. It's like again like. The fact that we picked it up so quickly, it's like what? Like I don't know if it's supposed. It doesn't hit the same though. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. It breaks their immersion for me, especially when it doesn't build up to like you feeling for the character that died.
Yeah, like you're having more of a connection, right? Like that's what I mean. Like
the story was way too obvious. It was way too obvious.
And if you're already and if you're like mostly like everybody on the podcast who watches like horror and psychological shit already, it's like there's no sentive, like there's just no sentive to this whole thing. Like
go ahead, Dodd, he was trying to say something.
I was about to say it would have been better to see like her friend's point of view of like how she got bullied and like it kind of goes up to that in the game, and then you will feel more for that character later on when you get to that point, seeing that she's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too sped up, like rushed.
Yeah. Once you found out that the friend was being bullied and stuff, I kind of understood that's what the sticky notes and all the yelling and stuff was about. Like saying, "Oh, whore," you slut and stuff like that. Like nobody likes you, and that was just referring to the girl that's dead. That's because basically the friend is reliving what the dead friend went through. That's what was happening.
Right.
And it's none of it is nice, but and the whole time this friend, the main character, was pushing her away in a way because she thought that she was being more friends with her other friend. Right. Like it's like a whole high school debacle thing that's happening. And like I understood the story like basically from the beginning, and it was just too thrown in your face.
Exactly.
It seemed like a plot point you would see in like Life is Strange. That game it kind of covers similar topics of like suicide prevention and like depression and stuff like that. But it's like at least you get to sit more with those characters versus this.
Right.
Dude, and the first half of the game, I just want to throw this out there. The first half of the game, it was like running at 30 for some reason. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was struggling, right? Like
it was struggling at first. I was like, is this? I literally went to my home screen and I was like, am I downloading something?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't your TV. It wasn't the PS5. It's the game. Like,
good. I wasn't the only one dealing with it. I was playing. I was like,
that's hilarious.
Like when you could tell when it's like showing her face at some scenes, like it's like stuttering, like.
Just even when you first like pick up your phone to like use the flashlight, everything was like going like it was so sloppy.
Yeah,
I was like, why is it moving so sluggish and slow?
But if we could take time to fix it,
after a while. It picked up after a while, but like,
it took a while. It's like starting your car in the cold, right? Like, like you're just waiting for the shit to warm up. Like,
oh my god.
But the thing is, like, but that's my point. It's that we're focusing on the wrong things here. Like the fact is that these guys haven't made a game in years. Like, and this is what I'm saying. You're throwing this bullshit at us. That it's like I'm sorry to call it, but it's the truth. Like, I'd rather you guys focus in on the game side, like the actual, like the format, like the frames, the graphics, like all the technical shit with that's actually with the game.
On the bright side, it was a free game.
I get it.
And guys, it's not a demo. It's not pertaining to anything else. This is a full game for free. But it's just short. It's just a short full game.
Yeah.
Something to like get you back into Silent Hill.
I've seen, not to bash them too much, but I've seen free full games better than that.
Yes. There is.
I think that PC ripoffs that's on the PC better than that's on Steam.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Visage or Visage, however you want to say it. That was a pretty
plays way
game
better than that. Way better than that.
And that was supposed to be a Silent Hill knockoff,
right?
A PT knockoff. All right, so let's move on to the last thing. So in your guys' opinions, what do you think Fortnite does in their live service games that others fail at? Like, why is it so successful when others fail?
Maybe it's because they're constantly adding new shit to it.
Yeah, I was about to say like
the
skins,
but as far as like cosmetics and all that.
Right.
Yeah, but there's also other live games.
Yeah, but it just doesn't hit the same as
consistent.
Fortnite does, man. I don't know what it is. Like Call of Duty could do it. I'm not gonna be generally excited to get a skin off of that, like a Skeletor and shit. Like, I mean, it's cool to play within, but like with Fortnite, like it just feels a lot more different. I get to see the character. I think you could do that now in Modern Warfare or whatever, but it's like you get to see the character. You get to actually feel, not feel like materialistic, but like you guys get what I'm saying. Like you guys get the actual feel of the character. Like they bring the ship or the weapon that character uses. Like they put a lot more in depth to like making their characters and their like bringing more to the live actual games. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just feels different. Like
their licenses,
fuck shit up with Master Chief.
Yeah,
or Goku. Like I got the flying Nimbus and his stick. Like
their licenses for characters are better.
Yeah,
their graphics are better.
It's just that's the problem though.
It's
like
the live events that they have are better.
Right.
They have creative mode. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want.
Which is a lot of other games out there.
Those four things right there is
enough.
Like enough to say that that's why it's better than most other live service games.
Right.
So I think that's why they're so successful, and they have their events, like their championships and stuff like that.
They
you can win $1 million.
Too,
so that's the car races. Well, that's the creative mode. Like they have so much that you can do with. You can literally me and Alex and Angel played horror games on there, like first person, third person. We played horror games on there. We did like survival stuff on there. Like we did a whole bunch of different shit that we can do in other games, but this is better because you can do it with fucking Master Chief or anybody. Like you do it any character you want.
And it doesn't struggle to invite your friends to do it with you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
easy to
it's
join
easier.
your squad. It's it's across the platform. Everybody can play.
In a sense, as far as that aspect goes, as far as like the simplicity of it, like it kind of works really well because there are like small kids that tend to play Fortnite, and then so you can tell that as far as the simplicity goes, it is catered to them in that aspect, but it's also still fun for like most or all ages,
Right.
because there's again the creativity, like Daniel said. It's not just one battle royale. It's like a shit ton of different game modes that you can play. Yeah. Oh, you're not in the mood for a battle royale? Let's play a little escape the room. Oh, not in the mood for that? Play a horror game, racing games. There's so many different things that you can do.
Yep.
And then like you guys also established a minute ago, there's the different skins and characters that you get to play as, and along with the different weapons and everything. There's so much that goes into it.
Right. And
I believe that multiverse effect, like how mainstream media is doing now, like they pull in every single franchise into one, so that way they can have each audience. Put Eminem in there, put Legos in there, put Travis Scott in there.
Eminem was in there too.
So
whatever they're doing it right because they're the hottest thing. So
it's funny, man, because like how long they've been the top. How long they like it's like that's how they're doing good. They've been up there for so long.
What's getting them the most is the kids asking their moms or dads for V-Bucks. And that's where they're getting all their money from. Oh, look, they got these cool skins. I want skins. Let's get skins. They're fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface and shit. They want to be skins. Everything's skins.
I be trying to make my pals at work.
Next.
I be trying to make my buddies at work. I be trying to make my buddies at work actually understand. Like it's like they're like, wait, what? You're paying like what $20 for a skin? That's so stupid. And it's like, no, but you guys don't get it, man. You guys don't get it. It's like when you buy it,
you're only saying it because you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, oh, I bought like there was one of my other buddies. He goes, well, I bought dumb shit in my life, but this is really stupid. I was like, how though? That I don't get it.
Can't be any dumber than what you already bought.
That's what I'm trying to get. Like I'm like, yo, bro, you're talking about a game that you get to actually beat. Like, yes, you don't. Sometimes like they even, well, you don't even have their powers, but even sometimes they do inside, when events or something like the like what is it like My Hero Academia? Like they actually put the power of him using his fist. You know what I mean? Like they also
did the same thing in Dragon Ball with the
Kamehameha. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it's I'm telling you, like I've never seen another game that does it the way Fortnite does. And it's one of those games like, dude, you can step away from for the first half of the year, but I guarantee you're stepping your foot back into that ring at least once or twice.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly.
Guaranteed. Even if we can even use myself as an example of that. Like there's times where like I played it like, when everyone was like, when it first started getting hot, I played it then. I fell off of it for a while, but every once in a while, I came back to the game, and now I play it, here and there,
and it's still fun.
Like, I play it somewhat regularly,
and it still is just as fun as you left it. That's why I'm saying, like a lot of games they lack, like you can't do that in like Modern Warfare and shit, like. It'd be like, oh, okay, this is.
Modern Warfare is like it's the same copy and paste, method that they've been doing for years. That's honestly why I fell off of Modern Warfare. Like, don't get me wrong, like I was one of those people that I liked both the campaign and the multiplayer. Like I would play the campaign first, then hop into multiplayer. The campaigns are still, relatively, fun to enjoy, but as far as like the multiplayer, it's still the same thing that we've been playing for years. There's no difference to it.
Right.
The only thing that's different is like, you might have slight different guns, different like, maybe some slight different attachments that you can, put onto your gun. But aside from that, it's all relatively still the same. There's the only games that were, I guess a little different was Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3 and 4, I think, because they added the whole like exosuits and everything that added a little spin to how you moved around the map. But other than that, it's still more or less the same thing that we've been playing since we were kids. And I get it. Like some people might want that, nostalgia while they're playing a game. Like, oh, this is what I used to play when I was younger. But like, I got tired of that.
Right.
And
I
you can see Call of Duty trying to buy into that idea of multiverse too by putting Nicki Minaj and Attack on Titan in there with the skin.
It's not the same though. As
is not the same.
No.
Now for Fortnite, I think what they should start doing, like with the skins, they should add like abilities and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like give it more.
I'm playing too much Warframe lately.
Give it more like. No, I'm just saying, like, give it more, worth than what you pay, like, for what you're paying.
$20 is a lot.
Not,
to ask,
I don't
man.
like just for the future. Like, they should just start. I wouldn't complain about spending the money if there was just more than just a skin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I literally stopped buying like skins and stuff because I was like, what am I doing, man? Because it really doesn't do anything for you.
Doesn't do anything.
Like it doesn't do anything. It might look cool, but what the fuck. Like I would be more like. Say again.
Oh no, I was like, we live in a microtransaction era.
Yeah, we talked about that already.
Like I would be better if the skins that you get does things that no other skins do. You know what I mean?
Right.
They should all be unique to themselves.
So I was kind of joking when I said it, but like it feels pretty sort of like relevant, or I guess you could say, Warframe does the same thing. Like it's unique into that to that aspect where like, oh, I don't want to play this guy, but this one looks pretty cool. Let me buy him. Well, you're not just buying a skin; you're buying a whole new character that has unique abilities to that one Warframe.
Exactly.
So from that aspect, I actually get where you're coming from, and I feel like that makes things a whole lot more worth your money when you go to buy a new character off of Warframe, because you're not just buying a skin, you're buying more to it. So I get it. It makes sense.
And it's not like Fortnite's the first ones to do that. Like Little Big Planet, they had like multiple accesses to different franchises that they would play.
Little Big Planet was a thing.
It was a thing.
You can play first-person shooters, and you can like do kart games like in Mario Kart, and it would bring like different worlds from different franchises, and like you'd be able to play throughout it.
I think people stop. I mean, I think people got tired of looking at the little turd.
It's just ever since it got sold out to a different company that
shit is gone, Don. Like that shit is done. Like.
But Fortnite's not the first one to do that though. It's
it's not.
It's so we're not saying that they're the first one to do it, but they're the ones who did it better.
Yeah. Like for battle royales, they definitely nail it. Even like when it comes to PUBG, like they try to put Jujutsu Kaisen in there, but it didn't hit as well as like at Fortnite.
Yeah, nah. PUBG.
I
don't know that. I feel like the reason why PUBG failed.
Do you guys think it has to? Do you think as far as like the success of like adding new characters to the game has something to do with like the overall style of the characters?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like to a certain degree, like both PUBG and Call of Duty, they have a realism like style to them as far as like the way that their art style.
And then Fortnite has a more cartoony, or if there's anime ones, they make it more like comic book anime type thing.
They kind of
like
fit it to what it is.
Exactly.
So it makes more sense when they do it.
Yeah. To that point, Angel, like that gives it more open to kids. Like kids are more attracted to like cartoons, or like the accessibility of being more easy for like a more casual audience to get into. That definitely plays a part.
Yeah, I get it. So, does anybody have anything else to any last words about anything we talked about today?
No, I think that's a bit.
No.
I think that's covered it.
All right. So, everybody just stay tuned, comment, like, and subscribe. We'll keep on with all the up-to-date stuff, what's coming out, what's new. Again, we do movies, shows, we do everything. So if you guys are interested, subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace,
guys.